Hey there, Oklahoma insurance agents. Are you ready to unleash your potential and embrace pathways to new success? Well, if you are, mark your calendars because May 7th through the 8th, 2024 is going to be a game changer for all of us. Yes, that's right. We are all meeting at the Oklahoma City Convention Center for the BIGiOK annual conference. Now, this is where the best in our industry come together to explore and to learn and to grow. And yes, I am going to be back too. I am going to be diving into the world of AI, and we are going to talk about digital doppelgangers. Yes, that's right. I am going to show you my digital doppelganger who helps me get all this stuff done. He's an AI-powered bot and he's amazing. I'm also hosting a breakout session where we are going to build our own digital doppelgangers in just 35 minutes. It is going to be so much fun. And this is your chance to harness the power of digital innovation like never before. But that's not it. We have an incredible lineup, including Kelly McDonald, Steve Anderson, and Dustin Wamsgans. Yeah, each is going to bring their unique insights to enrich your experience and your business. So, are you ready to transform your approach and skyrocket your success this year? Well, this is your moment. Join us for 2 exhilarating days packed with knowledge and networking and next level strategies. And don't just take my word for it. Register now and see for yourself how this conference can redefine your entire professional journey. Remember, it's May 7th through the 8th, 2024 in Oklahoma City. Let's make it a date to remember, and I'll see you there.
Welcome to another episode of AgencyWISE, your gateway to success. We're excited that you've joined us today, and we hope you'll also plan to join us each month on the second Thursday at 10:30 Central. Our AgencyWISE goal is to bring you a thoughtfully assembled wealth of insights, expert knowledge, and resources to enable and empower your agency to overcome the challenges that you've shared with us and how you can grow your organization to the next level. I'm your host, Sarah Bradshaw Ray. Our guest today is revered as the insurance industry tech guru, or as I fondly refer to him, as the godfather of insurtech. In our industry, the name Steve Anderson is practically synonymous with innovation in the insurance world. Now, Steve, I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed you're not wearing a bow tie. Because as long as I remember working with you, you always have some dapper-looking bow tie on, and I should have put that in my show request, quite obviously.
You probably should have, because typically I wear that when I'm presenting in front of a group. But yeah, I decided a long time ago. Actually, my son-in-law started me on bow ties, and it's just a fun difference, uniqueness that I have fun with.
Well, needless to say, I love it. And I know that our time together today is going to be a ton of fun, as well as very informative for our audience. But before we get to the meat of our discussion, I want our audience to get to know Steve the person and to hear a little bit about the path that has brought you where you are today. So take just a couple of minutes and share with us how your journey has led you to founding Catalyit and where you are today.
Sure, I'd be glad to, Sarah. So I affectionately say I got sucked into the insurance industry when I started working for my father-in-law in his independent agency in the Washington, D.C. area. And it was going to be just for a couple of years. He ended up having some medical issues, and I came in to help out. And I discovered I really liked it, and liked the technical part of the insurance. And as you might suspect, I got into the technical part of the technology piece of it also. So I was with him for 13 years and then left. And at his agency, by the way, I installed our first agency management system in about 1982, 1983. So I got my hands on technology in the insurance world pretty early on. So left, ended up moving to Fort Worth, Texas, and I started doing a little bit of consulting, but joined an agency there as a producer. And one of the things I liked about the agency is they were pushing the envelope, again, in technology for agencies. One project that was a pretty big one that I worked on was taking all of our paper files, scanning them, and storing them electronically. Now, today we don't think much about it, but this was in 1993, 94. So really early on in that game. And then people were starting to ask how you did it. Can you help us? And so I ended up starting my own consulting firm in 1999 and helped agencies with all kinds of tech stuff. And then about 4 years ago now, I was approached by a couple of state insurance association executives, Lisa Lounsbury in New York, Matt Baniszewski in Wisconsin, and Jeff Albright in Louisiana. And they all had a strategic goal to help their members with technology. And, in that call, Lisa said, you wouldn't be willing to help, would you? And I think I surprised both of us by saying, I think I might be. And so that led a journey for about 18 months, figuring out what this could look like and how we would put it together. And then 7 Big I states ended up founding Catalyit, investing in it, and I have been building it since. So that was about 3 years ago, actually, in March of this year.
Yeah, very, very huge project, but definitely the guy to put legs on the dreams. So very, very good. Well, I want our viewers to jump in and engage with us through the comments when I ask this next very important question. Because we want to have fun, but we also want to keep learning, more about the guy, Steve Anderson. So I want to ask you this. When you're at a party, maybe at a meeting, and you do those crazy icebreakers where you have to share a truth or a lie about your life, what do you say? Now, as Steve gets answers, I want our viewers, our audience who's with us today, I want you to toss into the comments, what do you think, truth or lie, as he goes through his story. So tell us what you say, Steve.
Well, I was going to say that the short version of what I say is I have landed and got catapulted back off a aircraft carrier.
No.
Truth
Okay.
or lie?
My job is not to respond yet. So I'm just watching. I'm watching to see. Okay, all right. Well, okay. Wow. Okay. Well. I don't know. Is it because that's such a wild story that nobody could make it up and probably lie that good? I'm not really sure, but it looks to me, so lie, no, true. Amy says, not buying it. Okay, so I don't know. Tabulation there would say, I don't know, 50-50. So I just got to say, what is it? What is it?
Yeah, it's actually true. In a group of 15, actually all insurance-related people, one of the guys I know was a former helicopter pilot in the Navy and flew off aircraft carriers. He was able to put together a VIP trip. So we all flew into San Diego, flew out of the San Diego Naval Air Station on what's called a COD. It's a two-propeller engine. It's kind of the bus that goes back and forth from the carrier, and flew out to the USS Carl Vinson, about 100 miles off the coast of San Diego. They were doing their pre-qualification trials before going on active duty. And we did land, got captured by the catapult, I can't think of the right word for it right now, got captured. We spent 24 hours on the ship, seeing everything, eating in the mess, with the sailors, going to the catapult rooms, being on the deck as aircraft were landing and taking off. Obviously, and it was probably, 25 years ago now, a great trip, really fun and unique. Not a lot of people get to do that. So it was, and I will say this, Sarah, my wife, one, told me, call me as soon as you get back so I know you're okay. And two, this was a Friday late Friday night when I got home. Saturday morning, I put on, at the time, the most popular movie, Top Gun, and cranked the sound up and kind of relived my experience there. And so it was fun. It was a great trip.
Absolutely. My goodness, what an amazing story. And I'm looking at the rest of the comments. Goosebumps. I want to hang with Steve. I'm there. What a big cable. That is hilarious. And honestly, had I really been prepared for this, we sure would have teed up some serious Top Gun opening scene music to add to the drama here. My goodness.
Yep, it was fun.
Who would ever have thought that a bow tie wearing insurance tech nerd would have a story like that, much less that it's true?
Yes.
Well, as I said, we always want these shows to be informative but fun as well. So thanks for playing along, helping us lighten the mood as before we jump into what is sometimes, if not always, intimidating insurtech stuff. So it's great to have you with us today. I've really looked forward to our session. I may date us both here, but I truly have watched you and admired you with fascination for decades at your ability to grasp and mobilize the industry tech trends. You really are the go-to resource for insurance professionals, guiding us on navigating the intricacies of technology utilization. So to kick things off, want us to get down to the nitty-gritty here. Let's talk about current technological landscape in the insurance industry. What came out of the state of the agency technology report?
So this is a report, and we've done 2 editions now, and actually, as we're talking, we're getting ready to do the 3rd edition, or we're getting ready to do a push to get information from agents. But we ask agents a couple of things, and I'll talk a little bit more about the tools, but we have what we call a tech assessment, which asks agents and helps them understand where they currently are in their use of technology. And then the second thing we have is a technology tech stack survey questionnaire. And that really asks, what are you using and how satisfied are you? And we put that information from those 2 sources together and have published this State of Independent Agency Technology. And I believe for the very first time, actual pretty good hard numbers on who's using what, market share, what are the, what are most agents using? And that's often questions we get, who else is using this, or should I be using it because so many other agencies are? But, technology has been a tool used by the independent agency channel since really the late 70s and early 80s. I mean, I mentioned earlier, agency management systems kind of first came out in the late 70s. They started gaining traction in the 80s. And then, 90s brought network computing, so getting terminals connected together. And I mean, I could go through kind of every decade of technology that's coming that impacts the industry and impacts agents because it impacts their customers. And agents need to be aware of the technology, how to use it, when to use it, and maybe most importantly, when not to use it. And that's really what we're trying to do in this particular report. And technology has not slowed down, and it's not going to. If anything, it continues to increase. And so Catalyit is designed to help agents maximize their technology and the potential that they can get out of it. And really it's in two areas. One is increase revenue, and the other is more efficiencies internally. So reduce expenses. And obviously those two go together to help increase profitability. And that's what we focus on at Catalyit, with technology as the kind of core of how agents operate today.
Well, tell us a little bit more about how Catalyit is helping agents navigate this complex terrain.
Well, one of the core ideas behind Catalyt is to help agents save time and help them prevent costly technology mistakes. I mean, I hear a lot from agents that have bought multiple platforms because they heard other agents using it, or this is the next great latest thing, and then that never gets implemented. So now they're paying for something they don't even use. Or they have multiple ways to use technology. And the thought that's coming to mind is an agent that I talked to actually at a board meeting at a state association, and she said she has 4 different ways to email a client. And my comment was, do you need all 4? Is there a reason? If there is, that's okay, but often there's redundancy. So that's part of that maximization. 1, what do you have that you don't need anymore? And 2, what do you have that you're not using or your staff's not using, so you're not maximizing that? So that's kind of our overall focus. And we do this by providing guidance, and we can talk about kind of what that looks like, and giving agents the confidence they need to make informed decisions. And so essentially it's a one-stop shop for all things insurance agency technology related.
Gosh, what a complicated mess. Even just that emailing or texting and that kind of thing. Because at the end of the day, we want to communicate with our clients the way they want to be communicated with. But man, when you've got 3 or 4 different ways, and then of course, how's it documented in that agency management system?
I'm just going to say compliance and documentation, and all of those, E&O things are real issues, and technology helps sometimes and makes it more complicated sometimes. So figuring out that landscape is, part of what we try and help with.
Yeah. Well, walk us through some of the key features of Catalyit that make it such a great resource for agents today.
So I already mentioned 2, and I'm going to go into a little more depth. So the tech assessment is what we ask agencies to complete. And as I said, it's a questionnaire. We grade 5 different areas of agency operations, and actually literally grade agents on how well they're currently using technology in each of those areas. So we give them a score in those 5 areas and then an overall score. And that's the purpose is, the goal is to help agents know where are you right now. And that starts leading to helping them develop a roadmap or a plan for how they're going to continue to implement technology and get the most out of it. So for our full access subscribers, that tech assessment is followed up with a consulting call. So actually talking to somebody on my team about the assessment. And what we're looking for in that initial is 1 or 2 or 3 things that we can recommend to agencies that they look at doing more quickly, and then start talking to them about a plan moving forward. And it's really a roadmap is the way we think about it. So the second area, and I mentioned this in our State of Independent Agency Technology, is our tech stack survey. So we are currently tracking at Catalyit a little over 25 different categories of technology. So obviously agency management systems, quoting platforms, both personal lines and commercial lines, website development, but a lot of other areas, a lot around marketing, CRM, lead generation, those kinds of things. And so we're asking agents, what are you using now? And I think for the very first time, we ask agents, rate how satisfied you are with that platform technology tool on a 1 to 5 star rating. I don't know anyone else in the industry that is helping agents understand satisfaction level at that point. So to me, that's a really helpful tool for agents, right? When they're going to look at a technology, let's say I decide I need a CRM, customer relationship management system, prospecting system. Now an agent can go and see, okay, what are the players and how satisfied are agents currently using that platform to help direct them to either asking additional questions or maybe not even using that platform but looking at something else. So those 2 things are really important tools that we use to help agents. And then I mentioned the tech assessment and the roadmap. And that's what we call the Catalyit success journey. And it really is my philosophy that technology is a journey, not a project. Too often technology becomes, I need a new management system, so that's a project. We get it installed and then we kind of don't think about it anymore. But it really is a journey. And we've created in the Catalyit success journey 4 different milestones as kind of touch points for agents to understand where they are. The first milestone is the basic, the starting, and it really is what's the technology that an agency needs to use in order to be successful as an agency in today's world. And you mentioned, we talk a lot about the customer and their changing expectations. So what are some of those things that agents really do need? And first milestone, baseline is the actual technical term we use. The second milestone is better. So what's the next step? And again, in each of these milestones, we list the technologies, the platforms, the products, the services that we think should be included in these. So there's a list for baseline, there's a list for better, and then the third is best. And we certainly are alluding to best practices. Big I, national Big I study done for 15, 16, 17 years now. And what are the best agencies using? And again, listing those categories of technologies so agents can start thinking of planning what do I need to do next on this journey to maximizing my technology. And the final milestone, sometimes my favorite, honestly, is called beyond. Now, what do I mean by beyond? What's coming that agents need to pay attention to? I think the easy one we could all say at this point is artificial intelligence, what I'm starting to call automated intelligence. But that is coming. RPA, robotic process automation, taking away manual processing and automating that piece. So there's a lot of things that are kind of future oriented. The agents don't really know yet what's going to happen, how they're going to be able to use it, but it's something they need to be aware of and start experimenting with. And I'm really big on that term, experimenting, testing out. And too often agents will say, well, I tried it, it didn't work. And my first question always is, how long ago was that? A year, 2 years, 3 years? Well, you know what? Things change pretty rapidly. Maybe you should test it and try it again. So that's the success journey. All right. Now, how do we put all this together? As I mentioned, we track a little over 25 different categories of technology. We have on our platform over 150 solutions. And it could be one vendor has multiple solutions, but that information goes into each category in what we call guides and reviews. So in a category, there's a page that tells you about the category, and then we tell you who are the players in this category. So for example, AMS. Now, agents don't change their management system very often, but when they do, it's a really big deal. So in our agency management system guide, we have listed about 22 now agency management system options for agencies. Now I'm going to pause there just a second because most agents go, what? How many?
Yeah.
We usually think of, there are top 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe we think of, but there are a lot of different systems and new ones coming that could be a really viable option if you're considering changing systems, or certainly if you're a newer agency or don't have a system right now. And there is a system for every agency's budget and every agency's needs. And so we help with that. And we have what we call a grid. So along the top are all the vendors. Along the left-hand side are features. And the intersection of that, we have either a blank, which means they don't have that feature, a yellow dot, which means they sort of have that feature, and that's kind of maybe not fully fleshed out. And then if it's a green dot, they have that feature. So an agent visually can look down pretty quickly and determine what systems probably aren't going to be viable for them. But we take it one more step. And this is a new thing we're building in Catalyit, what we call text selectors. So taking all that information, and for a lot, it's a lot of information, we have put that into a simple, usually 10 to 15 questions that agencies ask, what's important to you when you're selecting an agency management system? And then we produce a report that lists the vendors in order of how well they match the agency's stated needs with their system. Again, another tool to save agents time from going to all those vendors, getting all their information, getting in through all those sales funnels, and taking all those calls from salespeople trying to sell you, helping you narrow those down to top 2 or 3 is typically what we recommend. And then you go deeper dive into a lot of the detail of selection.
God,
So it's a lot
that
there.
in and of itself is huge.
Yeah, it's huge. And again, so we have it for AMS. We're building it out for most categories because it really can be a great tool to help. And then kind of the final thing. So most of what I just described is do it yourself or do it, with you. We also have a full consulting option for those agents that go, I don't have time, I don't want to do this, I need help. And so that's an option that agents have available at an additional cost for helping them make those decisions and helping them, again, maximize their investment in technology.
Yeah, gosh, what an amazing holistic resource. What I wouldn't have given for that all those years ago when we were both slogging through options and ROI and all of that. My goodness, that is fabulous. You mentioned just a bit about full access And so I want to go there for just a quick minute. Of course, BIGiOK Oklahoma members have a little broader access to the Catalyit tools than the baseline. We have some sister associations who are a part of our webcast as well. So just speak to that for a quick moment before we move on.
Sure. We have actually two membership levels or access to Catalyit. Any agency can get a basic level. And again, by the name, you get access to some information, but not everything. What we call full access is a full subscription. And again, some states are providing that as a member benefit. Some states are providing that to their agents at a discount, reduced discount. And I will say, we just, late last year, early this year, I can't even remember now, honestly, we completely revamped our pricing structure. So for a agency in a state that has a relationship with Catalyit, a full access subscription is $17 per month, yes, $17, or $170 annually. For an agency not in a state that has a relationship with Catalyit, it's $32 and $320 annually. So $32 per month, $320 annually. And we think we hope it's a no-brainer to, at that price point, to have access to this information. And I haven't even gotten into our live events yet.
Go ahead, tell us more. Because of course, you all are continuing to build all the different reaches that will, help keep agents informed about the latest trends and the products and the updates. But how else do you accomplish that?
So we have a weekly newsletter we call Tech Tips that has a lot of information, different articles, things like that. It got kind of what's going on right now. And then we have 3 live events every month. So they're all on Tuesdays. They're at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. First Tuesday of the month is what we call Hot Topic. So a hot topic is a deeper dive into something. So we've done a hot topic on generative AI. We've done a hot topic on cybersecurity. So we have lots of those. So you can attend live. If you do, you can ask questions and have a conversation. If you don't attend live, every one of these is recorded and put into what we call our video vault. So you or your team can go back later and watch the information. So that's the first Tuesday, our hot topic. Second Tuesday is what we call open Q&A. And kind of the way to think of this is a group mastermind, a Ask Me Anything. You have a question about technology in your agency, you can come on the second Tuesday of the month and post your question to my team. I'm there when I can be. My team is there most of the time. And we've got some great people who have been around agency technology and agency tech consulting for a long time. And so they have a depth of experience that's unparalleled. And then the third Tuesday is what we call Demo Lounge. So we ask our solution provider, what we call vendors, to demo their product. So recently we had AFCO, the premium finance company, who has come out with a payment solution that you can send directly to your client to choose the payment. Do they want a premium finance or do they want to pay in full? And offer those payment options to them. So they demoed their platform, again, recorded. So now when you're looking at the options for digital payments, you can actually go and see their platform and then have a better informed decision about what you want to do next. And so those are every month opportunities for you to interact. And honestly, if you have a question or a problem you're struggling with in your agency, these are great opportunities to get, what's the right word I want to say? Authoritative help.
There you go. Informed authoritative help. Helping, golly, I need to get that second that Tuesday event on my calendar. The demo lounge in and of itself, I can see just hugely helpful, and audience Q&A, I'm sure, is a part of that too. So many times we just get enamored, by the bells and the whistles and the, bright and shiny objects, and need to get deeper into how is this really going to work in my organization? Is it going to help us take our client service or our expertise or whatever to the next level? So I love how Catalyit isn't just a tool. It really is a strategic partner for agents who jump in and utilize your resource. Well, before we wrap up, and you've already begun to allude to what you think the short and the long-term future topics are in our industry, but I want you to go just a little bit deeper, look into your crystal ball, and tell us what you see.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. And, again, I think on everybody's mind is what's generally called generative AI, and that's the chat GPTs and some of the other. And those are really interesting tools. And what's interesting to me is, the artificial intelligence, that term was first used in 1955. So this is not a technology that's brand new. It's literally been developed over the last 65 years. And it kind of all of a sudden broke out when OpenAI announced their ChatGPT a year or so ago. But it is a tool that is here. It is a tool that is not going away. And it is a tool that agents will be using. In fact, agents are already experimenting with how they can use it to streamline their operations internally. And it's, content creation, it's comparison. I'm actually starting to play, and again, experiment, I always use that word, or play around with, using it as a policy compare. So you have a renewal or existing policy and a renewal policy. I'm thinking some of these tools will be able to compare and highlight where the differences are in those policies. It's a policy review type of process, but in minutes, not hours, that many agencies do. Now, again, all kinds of questions around that. How accurate is it? What about the information? Who gets that? Lots of things around there, but we will continue to figure that out. And I will say Catalyit is becoming a leader in this space on what this looks like. And we just did a presentation, and I'm going to give you a link. We'll put it in the show notes. Actually, I won't even talk about the link, but I'll just talk about the page. I'm going to put the link in the show notes. At the Joe Vincent seminar in Texas, IIAT is one of our founding partners, and we put on Catalyit at their event, a AI panel discussion. And to prep for that, or part of that, we actually created a landing page on Catalyit, which is a place to go just to kind of get basic information. I'm listing there some of the tools I'm playing around with. And again, notice I'm saying playing around with. I'm not recommending them necessarily yet. But this is the beginning of the process. And links to other articles and just resources for agencies to be able to get a better handle on what is this technology and how are they going to be able to use it. So that's a resource you all certainly can use and have access to. There are all kinds of other things happening. I think the marketing arena, the online insurance sales, so what I call lead generation, so somebody comes and fills out a form and says, I want a quote, being able to respond to that quicker and being able to respond in less time on the agency's part. All of these things are continuing to develop. One of my personal favorites, I will say, is what I call personalized video. So literally replacing email with a video. And I'm using it myself more and more, and it engages with people in a different way than just a text. It's really hard just to delete when you see a video, GIF. not click on it to see what the video says. And it's just another great way, producers, customer service, all those kinds of things. It's a habit changing because we're so used to email, but I think it has great, great power to further engage and build relationships with clients. So those are just a couple. And overall, Sarah, here's what I'll say. I've had a goal for a while to help agents think of technology as a profit center, not as an expense item. And agents will continue to thrive the more they embrace and use technology effectively within their organization.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. Thank you so much. This has been fantastic, as I knew it would be. We so appreciate your sharing your insights with us, how Catalyit is literally shaping the future of insurance agency technology, and becoming probably an even more valuable resource to us. I think land in the plane. I remember in our conversations about this visit, you pointing out that the real goal is for our audience to see that effective agency technology is the key driver in increasing agency value, and it's obvious how you are helping agents with that. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Sarah, thanks so much for having me. It's been great fun.
Absolutely. Well, remember, if you would like to share this recording with your staff or others, you'll find it on our BIGiOK YouTube channel by the close of the day. We'd love to see you next month on March the 14th when our guest will be Leanne Hawk. Many of you know Leanne's name as quite a catalyst in the Keystone Insurance Group. Leanne retired just at the end of the year as the Keystone COO. So in celebration of Women's History Month, Leanne will be sharing a little bit about her amazing experience in the industry in our episode titled Thriving in the Unpredictable, a lesson in acting as if. Like today, the future episodes of AgencyWISE are strategically curated treasure troves of insights, expert knowledge, and resources to enable and empower your agency to grow to unprecedented heights of success. That journey to success is ongoing, so our goal is to help you stay inspired and keep implementing these valuable insights. So until next time, keep thriving agency-wise.